All right, folks. Hey, welcome on back here this Wednesday afternoon. It is actually Wednesday now. I mixed that up with yesterday. Obviously, yesterday, Veterans Day, Tuesday. Here we are now, though, this Wednesday, November 12th. Great to have all of us, though, back inside our live trading room. Let me get my face up here. Great to see Armand still here with us. Bill, Dave. Had a few of us just before, but I'll tell you what, it's been a slow afternoon. Not so much within the market. And I'll tell you what, the SPY's pulling back a little bit here. We've had a couple of great shorts to work with, though. All of our students, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear to begin. Tim, Bill, Leda, Uday, great to see you here still with us. Hope you're doing well, Uday. Jerry, hope everyone's doing well. Whether you're joining us on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., just all of our social media streams and channels and platforms I like. Just down below, popping up right below me, or right above me, rather, bottom left, at Cyber Trading U. Just make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button right there. But I'll tell you what, listen, the market's pulling back a little bit here. We have had a couple of great shorts to work with throughout the whole day. Rigetti down about 8.5% almost, here at this point. Dropped off throughout the morning session here by 10:30. Maybe you would expect reversal time to happen. And we ended up catching a nice little reversal, at least heading into the late morning, early afternoon within the SPY. But man, this Rigetti trade just broke down. It kept breaking lower here. It was coming off bad earnings. I think it was back from earlier this week. On Monday it was. It's been falling off a cliff before that. Listen, guys, big trees fall hard. We say this all the time here. And we don't just say that to say that. We say it because it's true. We'll go over to another stock that we ended up trading from yesterday that is a good embodiment of that. But here on the daily chart, the same to be said. This thing ran up from $15, $18, $20 here back mid-September. Here we are just a month later. What did we do? Like 300, 400% almost. So, it came back down pretty hard. It is close right there. Holy, that is a nice support line, at least for the time being. That is the first support that we have across this whole chart. Ran up, up, up. It did consolidate here back at the end of September. Listen, we did really well on the U trade. That was back last week, about 4 or 5 days ago, pretty much the end of last week. And it was because it was coming down here towards where it consolidated. Lo and behold, back from late September. Two different stocks, two different sectors, blah, blah, blah. But these are, meme stocks in the sense that they're talked about in the news. People are talking about them on social media. If you're on X right now, you know that everyone's been talking about the uranium trades and the energy storage stocks. And then obviously, as we had said, with Rigetti, the quantum stocks here too. So they're all different sectors, different companies, but it's all the same pattern, right? So is it possible to see Rigetti make a bounce, at least into the close today, maybe into the rest of this week? Small swing. You don't want to try and roll the dice and expect the next perfect leg on up. That downtrend off the highs is pretty severe. That's a strong trend down. If anything, it would take some time for this to even make that better bounce. But for today as an intraday bounce, it could be interesting if it can hold back above this. If. That's the key word, right? That's one of the two most important words when it comes to trading. It's if and then. If then. So if this could hold back above this, at least later on coming up, there could be a shot for a small dead cat bounce today, and then we'll see where it goes tomorrow. If it holds back below here going into the next 10, 15, 20 minutes, then there could definitely be more downside room. But yeah, I like where the RGTI trade is, at least here either way. Now, Rigetti we had as a short, at least throughout the entire day, has been getting beat up all week. SMCI has been a pretty good short here today also. This one ended up nice little pop here. This just came from left field. I don't know what the hell this is, CMCT. Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. All right, so SMCI on this thing here at least. Well, we had a big iceberg throughout the day today, right at 38.20, a 403,000 share order on the bid sitting there. The more it keeps getting poked, nipped at, sellers are taking over. So it eventually got cleared, cleanly broken through. And this could be a nice short to work with going into the market close. There's a new order on the ask here for about 51K. The only thing is that it's not down like that 5+% that we look for. So, there's probably a lot of stocks looking like SMCI, Palantir, right? It was a great short earlier on today, at least. We were calling this out as a short. And remember, it's not even the shorts that you could try and trade and the puts that you could buy on the downside. but you could buy the inverse ETF. You got the PLTZ for Palantir. You got the SMCZ trade for SMCI. What the hell else we got, guys? We got, I think MicroStrategy is down today. So MSTZ, that one as well. So, I'm sure that we'll find the weakest trades as we go from top to bottom, especially on the loser side there. See what name brand stocks are down a bit here this afternoon. I know AMD was good on the upside to us, at least earlier on today. Great pop. I know that Lisa Su was on CNBC early this morning. Some news came out with them. So good slingshot, made a second move here even, but this is kind of fizzled out now. We're done with the AMD trade. We're going to focus more on just overall market sentiment here heading into the close. Oops. Just try and focus on the whole week view that we've had. This big gap up from the Friday into the Monday hasn't really gotten filled yet. So it's possible to see the streak of higher lows break. And if we happen to see this break lower low here this afternoon, tomorrow morning, it wouldn't shock me to have a lot further of a downside drop down towards perhaps Friday market close, fill more of this gap here at least. All right, we'll see. But otherwise, though, let's just go right from top to bottom here. Now, there were a couple great trades to the upside that we had. Those were stocks that were not necessarily like large cap. In fact, they're small caps. So, those are stocks that are going to make their own move. They're on their own like galaxy. They're on their own orbit and planet, whatever you want to call it. LPTX, right? This was up over 450% throughout the day today. Dropped off a little bit just a moment ago. Now, the thing is on this stock is that we had called this out pretty cleanly as a gap fill, right? Bill, we were talking about this to you, William C., I should say, inside our live trading room. But LPTX, Rich was on top of this most of the day himself, at least. But, we both recognize the gap, right around $2.25. It was from the close of this green candle here. It closed there, and then it crashed overnight. Something obviously had to have happened. So that's a true gap fill. And then there's obviously that wick, which is the high on that candle as well. But point being is that, it broke a little above it, but what's the reaction afterwards? What's the larger reaction? Did this move up higher than, it dropped? No. So it ended up, eventually crashing back down pretty quickly here. I'm not really too compelled to follow this so much. If you don't really have that big of a watch list here heading into the afternoon, you really are jonesing to trade this stock, I'll add it. But, we got this thing here that just broke out now, CMCT. I actually just caught that on my book map as we were just checking out some other trade there, and we saw this pop up, right? I was like, I'll get back to this in a bit. So the CMCT, this was a morning trade that we had at 7 o'clock, broke out off news. This tried to make the better run off of 9 going into the market open in pre-market here. And I was fortunate to get some money out on this trade. It actually moved up more afterwards after I got out. But, man, this thing was rugged. It was choppy. It looks like, it made a nice move up here. I guess, I was looking for a much faster pop, faster move up, the type of pop that you're seeing here. The only difference is that in pre-market trading, there's no halts. So I was really hoping for this to break this trend line faster and then for it to break over these horizontal lines, resistance levels there from the daily chart. Might look to do that this afternoon. Just the only issue now is that, of course, like we had with the LPTX, this thing's been getting halted every other second. It blinks, it gets halted. It blinks again, it gets halted again. That's kind of the case with this LPTX. Wouldn't shock me if CMCT suffers the same thing. It'll reopen up, get halted right away. I'll put this on our list right now. I'll add it. CMCT. QH was popping before. I guess it's dropping back down now. So, Fausto had called this one out early on this morning. So we were on top of this at least once it broke over $1. I think pretty much right then and there, actually. This kind of looks like the market open here, but it's not. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. And that's exactly when Fausto had called this out, actually. So beautiful move, almost doubled up from his call out. But like what I say just before, right? I intentionally and probably also unintentionally at times mean to sound like a broken record player, but big trees fall hard, right? Absolutely. SPRU Spruce. I think Fausto also called this one out early on today. He was on top of a bunch of things. But, the thing with this one, order book's pretty skimpy for how cheap it is. Typically should have a better spread than that. So, all right, MSGM, we keep it rolling here at least. So this is at the highs. You got resistance here at $5. That's nice to see. Listen, it's good to have resistance, right? It's nice to have it because it shows that there is a real level there. I'd rather have resistance than not have any level at all. At least we know this is the top. So $5 resistance here for MSGM. Again, it's cheap, so it should have a better order book than what you're seeing. It should be doing better than that, but I'll add it there for just for the fact that we know where the top is. FTCI, same thing there. It's kind of garbage. Oh, all right. Anything else looking good here? CTNA is up today, but again, same deal for the order book. I'd rather pass. The Lucy stock, this might look to make a pop over time. I was really hoping for that to be today. Basically we have support from the daily chart right off of 170, 169 probably you can call that. So it got close, but no cigar earlier. I was really looking to try and take a trade on this. I didn't. All right, so Rigetti going down, and that's where this RGTZ is going up, right? So I don't mind adding this to our watch list at least. Oh, that's right. IONQ's down also. So IONQ, quantum stock with Rigetti. This is probably down, if not more percentage-wise, just looks even stronger, I should say. So IONQ, and then the inverse to that is IONZ. Do that there. DVLT, a little choppy going up. It's having a decent day, but we'll come back to it when it trades better. We've seen that stock perform better, so we'll come back to it when it's more worthy. ORLA, Orla Mining. I don't know what they're mining, whether it's Bitcoin or gold or any other metal out there, but this is looking pretty good. Yeah, gotta tell you here. I mean, I'm not really too familiar with the company, but nice to know you. It's got a good order book, good spread. Can't really create the resistance I want to create, but it's a bit of a parabolic or like rounded top-esque resistance kind of starting here. Nice trend, but it begins to kind of pull into this high, and wouldn't shock me if that high kind of serves again as a top over time. There also is a little bit of a gap fill. Could try and fill today, even up towards 1240. I'll add it. Now, this is where I'll tell you at least. I'll add it. It looks good. It smells good. The only gripe I'll have on this is if the order book here looks hard to read on level 4. I feel like this is the type of stock that's going to have like a tough to read book map. Might look Lego-y, as we would say. Give me a moment here. Gonna take that off. Yep. Well, we got resistance there at least at 1313. Interesting number. 1314. All right, that sounds better at least. Yeah, $13.14. But outside of that order, that's what the rest of the book looks like. So it's not really the easiest to read when you look at that. You can't really base a good decision off of any of this here, at least outside of the hope behind $13.14 acting as resistance there. So I have no problem adding this ORLA to our list, and we'll see where it goes. That's all. Right, came back from the coffee shop earlier today. Forgot to hydrate at least before we started, but we got a few good trades here already on our watch list. I love the name of this company here, Vizsla, VZLA. Grew up with the Vizsla in my childhood, so I'm a sucker for it. VZLA, at least it's having a good day, but not really showing the momentum that we need. Bill. I'm not talking about you, Bill. No, I'm teasing. We got Bill. Was that Bill Holdings? This NUAI is moving up nicely. Yeah, nice move here. NUAI. We're familiar with this stock too. It's not our first rodeo on this one. Resistance not at 5, but at 503. That is. You know what? I'm going to put this at the top of our list here for right now. The NUAI. Nice afternoon move for us here. Pretty timely. MSAI trying to inch back up there also. CLF. Ooh, nice inverse trade today. Market pulling back. This doing pretty good to the upside. This has a fat gap to fill. This likely will fill this gap in due time here. I may eventually look at this as a swing trade. Probably not today, but maybe as like a day trade into the close. See if this wants to make one last push up, one last squeeze, but I'll add it for the time being. CLF. Okay, Lowe's having a good day. A little stuck in the mud right now. All right, that's pretty much it from the gainer side here, folks. I'm sure that there's more, sure that there's other stocks out there that you'd want me to check out. LFS. All right, this is what I was going to mention before here. Big trees fall hard, right? I'd said that before, at least with that other trade with the CMCT. LFS here was exactly that. It ran up huge going into the end of the afternoon yesterday. This was on our watch list going into the close, and then it just ripped. It made this huge run up where it took off in the after hours. And like I told you before, stocks can't get halted in the pre-market, but they also can't get halted in the post-market. So this just, ridiculous pop, 10 up to nearly 20, even in just the after hours there. But if you're not quick enough to get out in time, then look what happens here, right? It's difficult to get out here, and it's a nightmare to hold into going into the next day. So back down to 6, back down to 7. It's over. Now, this stock here, Circle, looks like it's over. This thing's getting decimated. So IPO from June time. It's a huge company in the crypto Bitcoin business. It's a stable coin company, of course, as I know. But it's pulling back here. It's basically going to fill a gap towards the IPO day closing price, down towards like 83, 84. Probably going to break lower, I'd imagine. That would be my guess. So it's a good short, right? Pretty good short. And you got this here too, CRCL. I don't know. Is this double? Yeah, this is double. That's 2x right there. Circle is down about 11%. CRCA is down about 22.5. So we like both. CRCL, the stock, CRCA, the cheaper ETF. Good volume, moving with it nicely. AESI's at the low of the day. It's easy to borrow. You got support right there, so it's nice to know where the bottom is right now. All-time lows, so that piques my curiosity. I'll add this trade for the time being. AESI. Now, I feel like there could be a lot of trades that are at the lows right now, so I don't want to build up too big of a watch list. I never like to, but obviously, either way, just with the market moving, we're going to focus on the best trades. So even though Circle's more expensive, we got the ETF, and it's showing pretty good strength to the downside. So a lot of weakness on this trade, and we'll add it. We got that already. Rigetti, we got that already. APLD was getting destroyed earlier today. I saw the trend down. I'm like, wow, I wish I had some shares of this. It was getting pretty modestly closed down at 25. A lot of gaps that are going to look to get filled over time here, folks. If they haven't already, then they will soon. So, something like this over time easily looks to be, getting filled soon enough. So, going into the close, I don't mind adding it. Let's just see if there's anything looking even weaker going down. CLSK seems to be kind of that. Mara, a little slow. CIFR, a little more life to it, I guess, but QBTS, that looks pretty good. That's a nice drop there. I mean, kind of pairing it with the Rigetti trade, pairing it with the IONQ short that we have there. What else we got? NBIS was getting beat up early this week. Took another huge hit this morning. But EOS took a drop today. That's been a very strong trend overall, but, dropped today. I'll tell you what, folks. I mean, listen, we have a big list already. I'm not, at a dire need to add anything else, but I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from Bill, Kathleen, Michael, Brad, Stephen, all of us here inside our live trading room. If anything else looks good, you let me know, and then we'll take a quick look together, see if it's worthy. Imagine a world without halts. Yeah, you and me both, brother. You and me both. Let's see. Anything else looking good, though, folks? Up, down, left, right, more than 5%. This thing, I don't know where this came from. Low volume. SPRU. I think that we looked at this just before. I don't know if I really committed to this all the way. Listen, for the spread, I'm not a fan of it. It's just more of a distraction than anything. The CMBM, did I add that at least yet? We got CMCT. Oof. Yeah. Okay. So this ended up pushing up towards those resistance lines. I mean, the goal is to try and see resistance flip into support, but in terms of testing, in terms of timing of those tests, last time it was around those prices was back from 8 o'clock in the morning. It's about 2:30, 2:45 p.m. Eastern here. So probably wait to see it at least try and shake around for a number of minutes. But even as such, it needs to stay over it. The second it breaks below it, that's your red flag. But this just came crumbling back down. I'll tell you what, CMCT will actually take off our list. CMBM, we'll just add. I was going to add it anyway, but for anyone with trader's dyslexia like myself, CMCT off, CMBM on. Yeah, Joe, there we go. So I appreciate Joe just writing that to me just now. CMCT hold down. That one's done. So Sam, appreciate your insight as well. ORLA, we have that on our watch list. They're a gold mining stock out of Vancouver, Canada. All right, cool. Appreciate you there, Sam. And let me know anyone else, any other stocks you see looking good here just before we finish up. The MSAI is like kind of low risk. It doesn't hurt to put this on our watch list because it's up over 9.5%. It's at the high of the day, so it doesn't hurt. I just don't want to add too many of these trades because too many will get just distracting. So going back to like LPTX, I think I put that on there, didn't I? No, I didn't fully commit to it yet. All right, LPTX, we got it. We'll add this for the time being, but listen, it's had like 15 different halts today. So and I know that you're trying to play casino, trying to expect one more move up on this trade. Now, the good thing with this stock, the thing I want to mention that's actually really good about this stock is that it's got a great order book, tight spread, good liquidity. So you are going to the casino no matter what, and it doesn't even matter if it's a category 1 trade. We're always risking our money, so there's always risk involved, and nothing is 100% locked in. But at least for as crazy as this stock is, and I would normally say stay away from it, it's got a great order book. So, hopefully it can keep going up. It's always good to have some hope. It's still not so easy to trade given the numerous amount of halts that we've had, but hopefully it stops the halts and just kind of trades, nicely into the close. All right, folks. So, hey, I'll be back on the mic going into 3 o'clock, 3:05. You got me here for the final hour. I'll be with you going into the close. For anyone on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Not you, Leda. Not you. Of course, you know probably better than anyone here, even inside our live trading room. Because Leda always joins us inside our live trading room, but she simulcasts with me in the afternoon on YouTube. There, appreciate you as always, Leda. For anyone else, though, if you're looking to join us weekly, join us inside our live trading room. Go right down to the link scrolling down on the bottom below. You could actually scan this QR code right here. If you're fancy with your phone, fancy with your camera, scan that QR code, join us inside our live trading room, get the full commentary. And then from there, for Joe, Bill, Leda, you got Mike, Jazz here, you got Roberto, you got Albert, Ron, Uday, you got Jan, Roseanne, you got all of us here. I'm not making people up here, folks. We got about 109 of us here this afternoon. I'll be on the mic here, as I said. So, hey, in a few minutes, we'll see what's doing here going into the afternoon. I'll be back on in a few, folks. Take care.